Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a while since I give you an update on the Liberty. So before I tear into it, I want to tell you guys what I would do again and what I wouldn't do again. And that's just for my goals on this Liberty. It ain't for everybody. So take this advice what you will. Here we go. First things first. Overall, I like the way this thing rides. I like the way it goes. And it's performed all right for what I've wanted to do. As you can tell, kinda, the front end has sagged considerably, even with everything I've done. Putting a big billet spacer in there, the rough country lift struts. When I got this thing done, it was at 44.5 inches to the fender flare. Now we're back at 42, and when we started, before we done all this work, we was at 41. So the front end has sagged 2.5 inches. I feel like I wasted my time there for what I was wanting to accomplish. Next, do not put an auto front locker in your Liberty. This is what you'll get. You'll break axles. You'll have a crappy drive. They bind up, they twist up, they make it hard to turn. Yeah, I'm not sure why, if it's just because of the style of the front end. But if you feel like you need a locker in front of one of these, get a selectable locker. That's one thing I definitely wouldn't do again, is put a locker, an auto locker I should say, in the front end of a Liberty. The other thing I wouldn't do is waste my time trying to get the lift out of this that I wanted. Building the spacers, spend the money on these struts. Now the JBA upper control arms, those are a nice upgrade. They really make a difference in this thing. It drives better than it did from the factory. Now that I've got the axle out of it and it don't lock up and bind up. But this thing drives and rides really good. I would probably contribute a little bit of the riding to the rough country lift struts, but it just bothers me that even when I added the spacer, these things still sagged 2.5 inches in the front. The next thing I wouldn't do is build drop brackets for the cradle. I spent a lot of time on this thing, and you guys know that. But for what I didn't gain in the long run, it's not worth it. With what I wanted to do at this Liberty from the start, I shouldn't have wasted my money on buying all the stuff I did. But the glory of YouTube is, you guys got to see me waste the money, and you don't have to. Unless you want to replicate this build, which that's totally fine. But for what I want out of this thing, I just can't do with the independent front suspension. With that being said, I did find me a Rubicon front axle. And I'm going to re-gear it and re-gear the rear of this thing in 5/13 gears. And we're going to straight axle this thing. That's going to be part of the next video. Maybe. If I don't start on the rear first and get it to building the rear bumper. We'll see how it goes. One thing I would definitely do again is build a front bumper. It's come in handy. I've plowed trees over with it. Used the winch to pull trees out, clean up, pull buddies out of sticky situations. It's been great. The only thing that I have done, which was my fault, was snap the winch rope, which that's totally my fault. I was doing something with it I should have been doing. But definitely, I'd build another front bumper. It's turned out great. And it might be for sale soon. So let me know, because I don't know if what I do with the next stage of the build, if that bumper is going to work without being heavily modified. And I'd rather build another one and sell this one to somebody that would be happy to have it. If you just want your Liberty to look good and perform decent, what I would do is just find some 31s, do the 2-inch budget lift, maybe put a rear locker in it. Don't cut the fenders off of it and do a bumper like I did, because these things do go pretty good stock. With that being said, I'm actually trying to find another one to do exactly that with. because I really do like these things. With the next stage of the build coming up, being a straight axle swap out of a Rubicon, and being I'll be using a lot of Rubicon parts and coilovers for the front, I'll be taking all this front end stuff off and getting rid of it. The lift struts, the JBA upper control arms, the front differential. So maybe you guys keep your eye on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and you might see it on there. I really don't regret doing all I done to this thing, just for the fact that somebody can watch and learn, see what to do and what not to do, if you want to go this direction or don't want to go this direction. That's what I'm doing this for. Plus, I like to do it. I like building stuff. I like working on things. So stick around, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time.